5.
Yeah.
Now let's go ahead and go into game number 3. The battleground is ready to go. We'll see where exactly we will be going. It's going to be Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow making a bit of a comeback today. We got it in our first series, and now Zealots will choose to go towards it in game 3.
I'm actually really happy about this because I always feel that Cursed Hollow gives you as a map similar to, well, in terms of the macro aspect of the map, Dragonshire might be a little bit similar because you have so many points that you need to control. But the one thing that stands out on Cursed Hollow is that you have different things of what you can prioritize. Do I go for the tribute? Do I let someone go? Do I go for a boss? Do I try and make a double boss play or push with the one that I have through the keep or the fort? So there's definitely a lot of decision making involved with that. And it's one of the maps that I enjoy probably the most. So I'm pretty happy that we see more Cursed Hollow.
Especially because the decisions are amplified by teamwork, right?
Yes.
You have to do certain things as a team or you will fall flat because the opposing team will take one element of there, and then of course that eventually bleeds into grabbing everything. If you have one boss taken away and you don't go for your own boss, that's suddenly a double boss play, and that's the game being over. It's really a great way to test the skill of the opposing team to see if they are really doing what they need to do to be able to match you. Let's go into it. Cursed Hollow here, game number 3.
So immediately what stands out, of course, is that on Cursed Hollow, your global heroes have even more of a priority or gain more value. So we can again expect Falster to make an appearance here. The Haka is very likely. And the ban on Abatha's side is not really unexpected considering of how strong that hero can be on this map. Zealots, on the other hand, they stay true to the ban procedure that they established so far. They ban out Tracer every single game. We highlighted the reason for that a bit earlier in the first 2 drafts, and that's mainly DAB really shining on Tracer, and they don't want to give one of the best tools over to Leftovers. But they react right away with going for Genji, so another mobile hero that gets claimed by the red team.
And it does. Now, Blaze is left open, which has been a priority for a lot of our teams today. But Hanzo is also up and available, which is great on this battleground. If you ever win a team fight around a tribute, post 5 minutes, you can immediately turn around with your scatter arrow build and just clear that puppy out quick. Zealots need to be considering that. We saw Chris play it a lot in the last phase, and if there's 2 battlegrounds, I think you have to pick up Hanzo. It's going to be this one and then BOE. Just one of those battlegrounds that having that PvE damage is just unmatched.
We have Malfurion and the Haka taken though, so the global priority that I pointed out a bit earlier is now really being reflected by the Zealots. Not going for Falset right away, instead it's the Haka, but still prioritizing Malfurion highly enough. That still gives the Leftovers the chance to go into Blaze themselves.
Yeah.
And of course you could also drop Hanzo here and go for both of the brothers. So there's definitely still a strong opening for Leftovers. And I think if they don't pick Blaze, then chances are that they're gonna ban it out, but we're not even getting that far. Blaze is immediately locked down by them.
And Muradin taken away here from Zealots, who had it in our second game. Allows for them to really control the bushes that we were talking about. I am surprised we haven't gotten much Johanna today. A couple times here and there, but it seems like Muradin's been pretty high priority. Diablo as well.
Yeah, I mean, we see her mostly on Tomb. She has started to become more of an issue on Dragonshire as well and other maps too. But I think the setup that we now have with Blaze and Muradin, which we've seen a few times, is quite strong because you have stun into jet propulsion.
Yeah.
You have a lot of sustain on Muradin that on Johanna you have to an extent, but it's not quite as strong, at least not in the current patch here. So the 2 together are really difficult to drop and offer a lot of CC.
Zealot's thinking about what they want to ban here. What immediately jumps out to you? Any supports that we should be taking away?
I mean, one of the first things that I would consider here is banning out Falster, but I'm not sure how well it fits with the comp there. So either you ban out a global or you go for the supports, as you said. Hanzo banned out. Actually, that's surprising to me because I expected the Zealots to try and pick Hanzo up for themselves.
One Falset immediately gets banned out from Leftovers. They're not going to deal with that again.
Double global, a little bit too threatening. But yeah, the Hanzo ban is interesting. Not necessarily horrible or anything, but I expected them to try and grab Hanzo for themselves so that they can run bosses.
Only gonna stay away from it. Perhaps they're afraid to move straight into Hanzo because they don't have any protection right away for him. If Genji is going to get in a spot where he's able to dive on Hanzo and he doesn't have the natural agility, they don't have like a bunker to immediately save him. I'm sure they have Malfurion roots, so it's kind of difficult to hit. Want to play it a bit careful. Instead, they go for Greymane and Li Ming. Reset comp.
Yeah. And also 2 of the strongest heroes for their 2 backliners. Quacknix, of course, the Greymane player in Europe. And then you have Li Ming, where Chris just absolutely excels on the hero. So definitely priority picks for them in terms of preference and comfort picks.
Leftovers need to be thinking about their support. Honestly, what do you think about an Uther here? Granted, Li Mingpo coming out, but it'd be helpful with Genji, gives you more protection to stop those resets.
You have Blaze with that as well. You have a lot of self-sustain on Muradin. You could definitely go down the Uther path. We have seen a high priority on Deckard Cain, so that's another option.
Yeah. Leftovers thinking about it here. Got their side lane already. Maybe a little bit more damage too. That'd be nice for them.
Actually really good around the tributes in general because he can zone so well, and if you have Blaze and Muradin already for the initial setup, he can capitalize on that too. Phoenix for now, and Kerosene actually as the last one.
We've got a number of supports today.
Yeah.
I like it. A little bit more variety.
That has definitely changed a little bit in terms of how viable all of them are. And this is a really cool pick too, because now they can really go pretty deep with that Genji, Muradin, and Blaze setup. Jet propulsion in, jump in with Muradin, hit the Storm Ball, Kerosene with a single target damage after the two, and that creates a lot of space for Phoenix to stay safe in the backline and get his own damage in. It's going to be really tricky for Zealots to get onto Phoenix. Dehaka has probably the best chances so far, trying to go for a burrow behind them and then have the initiation there. But if he doesn't get onto Phoenix, then Phoenix should be able to weave those auto attacks in, get a salvo off or a Planet Cracker, and get a lot of damage going there.
I was wondering about Garrosh here, but I was a little bit worried about 7-side strike coming out. Johanna might be a little bit more safer, being able to at least blind the Kerosene and wait for your teammates to come help you out. It's gonna be Garrosh though. We're gonna go for it. So Robodoba gets his Garrosh.
For the first time now.
Yeah.
It's actually here that we expected already a bit earlier, but now in game number 3 he finally comes through. So yeah, nice draft actually. I mean, so far I like what Leftovers in particular have running here. I just like the setup. I feel like Zealots have a lot of combat picks with Liming and Greymane, as we said. They have the global as well. That alone might actually be something that sways me a bit in favor of Zealots, but looking at the Leftovers, Blaze Muradin, Kerosene to follow it up.
Yeah.
Phoenix has a lot of protection here. There's a lot really in the face of the Zealots that is going to make it a bit easier for Phoenix to really get that damage out there. Good setups for both of them. I'm really liking it. Pretty even so far.
I like the late game chase being available too for Leftovers between Genji and Kerosene. If you want to go for that way of 100 fists, you can always try and chase down Liming or Greymane. Granted, cleanse can be helpful, but you do run that cleanse against a Malfurion. You can kind of put yourself in a spot where you get stunned out. So wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more damage here from Kara and see if they can get those picks that they're wanting. But so far, I think I actually lead a little bit towards the Zealots as well. I like the Genji. I like the protection they have available to them, and I like how explosive they can be.
I mean, it's going to be a great game. We have a tie in the series already. Mopsio goes up against his old team. Zealots, on the other hand, with a new shot caller, a new drafter, having Quacknix now in that spot. Didn't quite work out in game number 1, but game number 2, they looked a lot stronger. Now we're heading into game number 3 to find out which one of these teams is going to take the lead in the series. And starting to left, Shat on Malfurion. We have Quacknix, of course, on Greymane. Chris on Liming as expected. As we see the Zealots with Robodoba on that front line, showcasing his Garrosh, and Zarmany again on Dehaka on the side lane.
On the right side, in the red, Link coming in here, going to be showing off that Kerosene. Black Kidney showing up as well as Genji. Boss himself been playing Blaze. Mopsio going to be our tank player as he plays Muradin. And finally, DAB on Phoenix.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. DAB here with Phoenix can definitely pull quite a bit of damage out, and he should be able to keep safe. But for now, the question for me personally is, how is Robodoba going to showcase his Garrosh? Because he single-handedly was one of the reasons why his team did so well in the first phase of 2018. He not only created opportunities, but he denied so many plays to the opponent, and this is one of the games where he can finally show that properly.
The good old times of the warrior mains being the playmakers. Diablo, Garrosh being the two heroes that were picked so often.
Burrow to the top, Dehaka actually trying to attack Blaze there, but that didn't really work out. Trying to go, actually just trying to get the experience and trying to get the drag on, but Blaze dodged that. Yeah, there's another drag attempt by Zarmany, but instead it's Boss with a quick turnaround jet propulsion that is able to put some damage on him, so already taking an advantageous position on the lane itself.
Yeah, Blaze is one of those matches, man. If you don't land that drag, hack it. It's kind of bullied out a little bit until his essence starts to pop up, especially on level 4 when he's able to grab that essence there on the minions. Bottom lane, however, could be in trouble. Robodoba comes in, but Mopsio flicks out a Stormbolt. Robodoba gets stopped in his tracks, and Masio is able to get out.
Rotation towards Greymane though, and that was a nice read from Leftovers. That was actually fantastic. If they steal that camp away successfully, that would be great for them, and that's exactly what they do. Quacknix is not comfortable enough to move in and try and contest it. He doesn't know if Blaze is still around or not. Blaze showed at the top lane just a few seconds later, so that is actually great. Now Quack is busy taking that camp down, whereas DAB, as we can see here, is already taking the second camp for Leftovers. Mercenary control for the red team is just fantastic right now.
Giants are finally cleaned up in the top left corner, but as you mentioned, control in the south is something that Zealots to deal with. They'll send Robodoba down there to toss a Giant over. But already, the rest of the Leftovers are grouping in the middle, trying to find some way to get this middle pushed in. But Zealots doing pretty good in defense. Now they should be able to rotate over a couple members and work on this middle lane. And if they don't lose too much in the turrets, they'll have their own night camp that they can have push in the middle lane after this tribute spawns and try to get their own turret pickup.
Now, one of the problems, of course, that the Leftovers had with how many camps they took is that they just rotated away from the camps they just claimed. So those were defenseless on lane, and that's one of the reasons why it was so easy for Leftovers to save them. There comes a quick warp as DAB had to warp out, but Leftovers now claiming those camps, taking all of them down, and we are, again, on pretty even experience here. Leftovers didn't quite get as much value out of the camps they took as they were hoping for, but they at least put some pressure onto these front walls.
Zealots have an opportunity, though, to jump up in experience here. Don't forget about the Hawk in the top lane, that global pressure. They're going to try their best to slow down that tribute grabbing. In fact, Leftovers are actually jumping into this bush here, trying to stop them from running to this choke. Robodoba's going to have to force the issue, and finally he does. Push on in. Even a root coming in there, as Shad was expecting possibly a throw to pop in.
Yeah, Quacknix is far out. DAB starts coming in too. The Haka isn't committed yet, but Shad is about to go down. And Mopsio cuts his path of retreat off. Link, on the other hand, also falls, and that's the reset for Li Ming that the Zealots wanted to get. Early kill trades here, as the Haka is now joining the fight as well, and that's the drag, and DAB is low, and he dies as well.
He gets taken out, both supports down from both of our teams, and Leftovers find themselves on the worst trade of it. As Phoenix also gets picked off, Zealots immediately grab this tribute. There it goes. They jump up 1-0 over their opponents and also find some experience as they're about to hit level 7.
Yeah, Quacknix already at the bot lane trying to put these auto attacks on Greymane to good use, sniping another tower, and that's super important for them right now. So job well done by the Zealots, claiming lead in experience, taking the first tribute, and also establishing a very solid map presence for themselves now.
Army also trying to make sure to soak both these waves as the night camps needed the next thing to grab for Zealots. Yep, they already head on over there with the tribute spawning too. This will be good pressure for them. All they need to Haka to do is deal with that lane on the top. They can rotate down and try to be annoying there.
Timings are working out quite nicely for them. They have the level 7, they can claim the night camp. It's going to push through the mid lane as we see the tribute on the map. So this is really cool for them. They just rotate from one spot to the next, taking the towers at the bot lane, rotate to the night camp, tap quickly at your own well, and then move back into a tribute fight, whereas Leftovers are now in that awkward position where, first of all, the Haka is pushing against them at the top lane, gets an additional wave, camp is going through the middle, and there's a tribute as well. Leftovers are in a very awkward spot. But they are zoning really nicely. Polypus, on the other hand, does not go for the channel.
They actually want to force this fight, and they step up, but Zealots are able to cut away, and Malfurion will be able to top them off, and with the Haka coming in as well, Zealots have brought all 5. If they can get one more interruption, Robodoba can't step up into that choke and grab it. However, with the Night Camp pushing in the middle, Zealots are trying to slow Leftovers down to rotate in. But Leftovers, they grab the tribute, and they should be able to deal with the middle wave fine.
I think the original cancel on the channel was also a bit of a mistake. It works out because Zealots are not going for an additional interrupt. But if they would have been able to interrupt again, then that Night Camp would have gotten even more value than it already does, because that spell aura still helps the Zealots now to safely push the entire wall down. And that just increases the lead and the experience that the Zealots already have. But at least the Leftovers are able to get a tribute for themselves. But now you can already tell that with a half-level lead, Zealots could try and stall this out a bit, get level 10 through the Haka at the bot lane, and then fight for this with an advantage. So Leftovers are going to, if they commit to this, try and make this a really quick grab and a quick kill.
Leftovers will clear out the middle lane first before they do so, and it looks like they are going to try and fight over this area. Need to be a bit careful. Garrosh around this bush area can toss you into the turrets on the left side, and if you don't have the mobility, you will get caught out. So they're going to play it slow, but Kidney be the one to check out those bushes and find out where exactly Robodoba is on that Garrosh.
The Haka's at the bot lane now, so they want level 10.
Yeah.
And that is why Polyboss has to get the channel here together with Link right now, because if the interrupt is there, then you risk playing against level 10 abilities, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, there they go. They actually go without the level 10. They don't have to right now, but they're trying to. The drag does not connect. Zarmony misses it, and Polyboss walks away here. Now this is a bit of a misplay. If they connect the drag and get a kill, you can make a good argument for it working out. But the problem is, the bot lane is still pushing. That's where Siege Giant camp was taken by Leftovers early. If the Zealots let the Tribute go, but they still stay on the bot lane and grab experience, get the early level 10, that's fine. If the Zealots get level 10 first and then try to force the fight, they have a good chance of getting a kill. But as it happens, they committed quite a few resources and negated a little bit of the advantage they had to try and get a kill that they didn't get, so they really end up with a negative net value here. And now we have another Tribute spawning, and Leftovers by now have their own level 10, so we are pretty much on eye level when it comes to the actual engagement.
I feel like Zealots thought they had a little bit more time. Li Ming was trying to rotate in and delay that Tribute from being grabbed, but Podibus did such a good job of denying her from moving up and also taking the shots coming forward that Leftovers were able to get that Tribute, and as all they had to do there was dodge the drag. But hang on, an immediate engage on Muradin, and he gets melted.
Robot Doba is a god. We're going to talk about this in just a second, but here comes the jet propulsion, and Shat is low. X-Strike, and once again, Robot Doba is just a boss. This guy is insane. Bunker is down. Here comes the seven-sided though, and despite his best efforts, Garrosh finally falls as Leftovers start to turn this around. They get the double kill against Dehaka. So at the end of the day, the fight's still in favor of Leftovers. But boy, is this kid good on that hero.
Seven-sided strike, though, comes in and knocks him on his rear.
But here's the thing, like, now they are cursed, so there's a couple of aspects with the curse as well. But let's talk about Robot first. He sees Muradin coming in, and Muradin actually starts to hit the Stormbolt to double-check the bush. Indomitable comes out, he dodges the Stormbolt, moves in, creates the kill against Muradin, and that was all him. Dodging the Stormbolt, going in, dropping him, making sure that he gets taunted, no way for Mobster to get out of there. Quick kill, and then he also saves Malfurion by throwing him out just half a second later. Robot just, I mean, he plays that hero to perfection. The fight was still turned around by Leftovers though.
Yep.
And now we have a curse against Zealots, and this is where the Leftovers are going to start and build that momentum. And a big problem here is we had 3 tributes where Zealots could have done a better job of interrupting, and they fell short several times. And now this is the problem that they have with that, because now all of a sudden they are 1.5 levels behind, they're talent behind, all their forts have been eliminated, the map is in complete control of Leftovers, and they can even take a boss in the back of it.
I mean, they played that perfectly. They had Karazim in the top left corner, sitting on the mini wave in the back to make sure to soak that experience, but also to make sure that fort would go down. They got all 3 waves pushing forward, which gave them a huge jump in experience, a level and a half. And then, after they knew they've gotten everything they can possibly get off the curse, they pull away and grab the boss at the top right, and they leave Podibus in the bottom left corner to make sure they can go for a double boss play. That was a beautiful macro from Leftovers as they are setting themselves up to even get the second boss the moment that Zealots reveal that they're defending the top lane.
Absolutely agree. Leftovers plays this extremely well. And we come back to the first 2 tributes again. The Zealots thought they could interrupt, and they were too far away. They got zoned out. And that's, of course, partly because Leftovers zoned extremely well and did a great job creating that space for the heroes that channeled. But at the same time, it's also a bit of a miscalculation from the Zealots' perspective, where they just didn't really commit heavily enough. Dehaka's burrow to the second tribute at the top comes to mind again. If you want to contest, bury quicker. If you are not willing to contest or you want to get the advantage in experience, then wait it out and get the value at the bot lane. But the way they did it, they got neither. So it was just a pretty weird attempt by them to get something done there, and it all hinged on one Tong in the end that didn't connect, and then they didn't get any value whatsoever. Now they have to face the music, which means double boss and a level behind.
And Leftovers will push. They even delay grabbing this boss just to make sure. Then clear out the middle Night Camp that was pushing in, and the rest of the team will group up now and start to break down these turrets. Now, the goal isn't to really get a keep. That'd be nice. The goal here is to grab the turrets, open everything up, and make sure that the next curse that they do get should be effective. If they can find a kill here, that would be wonderful. But the Leftovers have to play it safe with Zealots being on an even talent tier and Dehaka coming back. They'll go ahead and back up after taking the keep wall.
And of course, Dehaka is really one of the big factors that keeps Zealots in the game here. He has already shown quite a lot of experience that he soaked in the lanes. One of the reasons why he came back in the first place was because there wasn't anything more to be gotten in the mid and the top lane. He already pushed those out as far as he was willing to go. And then we have still that camp up at the top pushing through here. Now there's another tribute at the bot lane where the Leftovers have now to decide, do they even want to go for it? Because we see Blaze moving top to deal with the Siege Giant since they're not willing to give that fort up. So the Leftovers are very likely to let this one slide.
Especially with 16 not being here, Giants already being cleared up in the top lane. Fort takes a little bit of damage, just a scratch though. And Leftovers instead take everything else on the map. Grab Giants, get mercenary camps, get things pushing out so they can work on the tribute afterwards. Now, Mopsio's here in the bottom lane. He's going to go ahead and back on home and wait to group up with the rest of his teammates. But Leftovers, so far, are just playing for that lead.
Yeah, the Zealots, of course, now are just trying to get experience by themselves. Ideally, they would take a few of the structures down. That's the dream, because that's extra experience that you can gather. But they also have to play around their global again. And really, the global factor is what's so crucial right now for the later stage of the game. But Leftovers now have given up one tribute because they wanted 16. So that also means that if once you have 16, you need to do something with it. You can't just simply sit there and allow your opponent to move in. So they use the spell aura of the night camp that they just took and start to move through another wall in the middle of the map here. So they're actually aggressively pushing towards the keep again.
They grab one turret, should be able to grab the second one too. Zealots doing their best here to defend. Zarmi can come over here and drag the spell down our camp just to make sure nothing happens. They clear that out pretty darn well. So only one turret goes down, second one still stands, but the gate is opened, and now Leftovers can rotate over and start to grab the tributes. There is some time here for them to maybe get a second tribute afterwards, but Zealots have at least put themselves in a position that when it comes to that third tribute, that second curse that comes in from Leftovers, they should be on an even talent here, which means that's when they can fight. So it's all about patience for Zealots and not getting picked out.
Exactly. So right now it's level 16. Zealots should not contest here. They're gonna try and double check if someone maybe sneaks in, but you can see that Mopsio is anchoring at the side, so Link can safely channel that through. And in the meantime, we have up to the top, the Haka, of course, starting to get the experience again for them. As long as they have some vision, and they do now in the mid lane, he knows that he's going to be safe to push another wave out. We have already Blaze sitting in the bush down to the bottom of the map. But a very patient play by Zealots now. Just trying to get a few of these mercenaries, trying to get some experience. They know that they still have a little bit of time before the next tribute is spawning on the map.
Let's get an eye on these boss timings really quick, just to make sure we can count for those. 40 seconds for the top right boss, which will be coming in after the second tribute comes in. So Leftovers already positioning up there in the top right corner, one for the tribute, but also to keep those lanes pushed out. They have Blaze in a safe position. Idea being if they grab this tribute, and Zealots don't come over, they can move in for a boss.
Yeah, and here's gonna come level 16 thanks to the Haka at the bot lane. Vision has been granted on Leftovers heroes thanks to the top push that they just executed against the Siege Giant. Now the Haka's at the bot lane, gets level 16 for his team, and this is where the Leftovers can come back into this. Sorry, Zealots, that is. If they get just one team, if they just win one fight, if they take a tribute, it's curse immediately. And that's why they're looking for this right now. We have a camp pushing through the mid lane. The Haka can go in. Blaze is missing right now. The Haka still waiting it out at the bot lane. No engage just yet. And again, this zone control that we highlighted from Leftovers earlier as the Haka is starting to make his way to the top.
Here's the Haka. Goes straight for the drag. Lakini is able to dodge it. Jumps away. Zarmany taking some damage on that front line while Mopsio pops that avatar and is trying to force a fight. One of us and crew dance back and forth.
Big push in the mid lane still. The fort is down now, and that camp is moving towards the keep wall, but we still have the fight over the tribute, and this is a fight that Leftovers have to take, or they're going to curse. The taunt, the kill, and down goes Genji.
DAB will pop the Planet Cracker there, getting a little bit of damage there, but nothing too substantial. Zealots immediately step up, and they want this tribute. This will give them a curse. And with that camp in the middle lane still pushing in, that means that this keep is going to be under fire.
Exactly, and now of course it's all about getting structures. Bot lane, super important, get the fort here. And even a boss attempt right now by Zealots already, trying to push with the boss. Mopsio's there and sees it, but they don't have Genji. They cannot really contest that, but it forces some of the resources of Leftovers to that top position.
Mopsio thinking about it with the root to come out. It's going to fully back up, which is trying to buy the attention of Zealots, make sure they are all five here, allows his team some time to work on grabbing the Giants to help out with that bottom lane. Once the Giants get picked up, that should help clear out the minions that will be pushing in towards them. They can leave one member down if they need to, but this allows them to focus on this boss in the top right. The main objective for Leftovers here is just not to lose any keeps, but this boss is definitely threatening that idea.
Yeah, they're going even for a double boss attempt right now, so they can push through the bot lane. But you can see in experience already that the entire advantage that we had from the Leftovers is already negated. So that was really a good kill for the Zealots. That taunt again, set up by Robadoba, allowed them to get the kill against Genji and then get the curse right after that through the tribute. And that's of course pressure now at the bot lane as the Haka is pushing the lane out as we speak. The top lane is already being assailed here. Zealots are now in a really good position to get value through the bottom push.
So this first boss gets cleaned up. The Zealots are already down here. Luckily, we know Giants be able to grab it out. Leftovers should be able to set for the defense. Zarmany already here in the front. And they'll start sieging away on top of these keep turrets. Leftovers Their siege isn't the greatest. Sure, they have Phoenix, they have Genji that can shoot a little bit, and of course you have the ability to clear out those minion waves, but they may have to force a fight, and they do. They jump straight on in. Mopsio goes in, there's going to be the drag, he gets taunted, but he's just fine, he has the Avatar.
And the Planet Cracker didn't really give them enough damage here. So once again, they're going for Mopsio. He barely jumps out, but here comes the shot fired. Bunker is being used. Every single heroic ability on the side of the Leftovers has already been fired. We still have the Twilight Dream, and we have Isolation, plus the Cursed Bullet ready for the Zealots. They're going for the keep here, and they should be able to get it.
Easily here. Zarmany holding the right side, Robodoba holding the left, making sure there's a front line. No way for Leftovers to move in and put too much damage on it. The keep will fall, and Leftovers have to deal with it. They kite backwards, and they'll deal with the boss before it scratches their core. But now they have catapults pushing in their lanes, and they don't have that global like Zealots do.
Exactly. So the Zealots have still the global advantage, and they're going to hit 20 fast. They have now a situation where they control the map for the next minute or so. And the Leftovers are trying to get some counter pressure on the lanes by taking the camp. Also some experience here, where we have a bit of a trap set up down at the bottom. They wait for a rotation. Now they see that the camp has taken, and they're still patiently waiting. They're starting to rotate in the middle, I'd say. No? Still waiting around and hoping that someone is going to try and re-grab vision and then take him down.
Playing it slow, though. The Leftovers know that 20. Something's right around the corner for the Zealots. If one member falls, the Zealots get reset, can force a fight. The Zealots just controlling the middle of the map here. This should give them that 20 as they clear that out. Leftovers, on the other hand, with that being said, should be able to just sit back, play it patiently, soak all the lanes. You have Mopsio grabbing the top. Blaze already in the bottom lane. They can give away this tribute. They don't have to force it until they hit 20. But they do have time to actually move in.
Yeah, the thing is there's not really too much on the map for the Zealots to get with level 20. The advantage is not big enough. Even that tribute can be contested if Leftovers want to. But the 20 allows the Zealots now to get that position a bit earlier if they really want to. But you can already tell by Mopsio's positioning here that the Leftovers feel confident that they can get the experience and then fight for it. But Genji needs to be careful because Garrosh is looking for that taunt already. Robodoba doesn't quite get it. Forces Blick Hitney back though. Now they can engage into the fight itself again. 20 is ready for both of them.
There we go. Link will start the channel here. Chris should be able to delay it. Goes out with a full combo. Link able to sidestep and backs away. The rest of the team is trying to push up a little bit and grab bush control of this area. Yeah, comes out, and Robodoba still has that toss.
Yeah, again, Link gets the channel through. A little bit too late, the interrupt that we saw from Li Ming.
There we go. 2 out of 3. Leftovers are 1 tribute away from getting Curse. They do have to get control of the map again, though. That is in the favor of Zealots right now. A Giant's pushing in the top lane, and Catapult's starting to really group up in the bottom right.
Now, the tribute that was just taken is important in the sense that the next one is going to curse the Zealots again. So that's a bit of an uncomfortable spot for them. They could really... This is one of the things that they have failed to do throughout that series, to properly stack cooldowns to make sure that they get the interrupt. Even the setup with Li Ming, I mean, it's a matter of what you want to do. Do you want to really unleash a combo on the target, or do you just like use one shot and then wait with the cooldown for the next so that you have continuous interrupts against their opponent? Didn't work out for them just yet, but it's all about the kills. And here's the taunt! And nearly the kill, but the X-Strike barely getting away. And this time Planet Cracker is just an absolute boss move. Greymane goes down, Malfurion falls. Perfect play by DAB. Robodoba is dead as well. That's an easy triple kill.
Black Kidney dropping down the X-Strike, jumps straight into the bunker that Polyboss puts down for him. That's going to be the tribute with 3 already being down. Leftovers can make a play for the core, and they should be able to get it. There is Li Ming available, so you always have to worry about that reset potential, but it should be pretty darn difficult for her to get these resets. Leftovers immediately go straight for the keep, and next will be the core.
What a turnaround here, seriously. A fantastic taunt against Genji. The kill does not quite go through. X-Strike into bunker immediately, and then the Planet Cracker of DAB just wrecks them completely. No escape path for Greymane, for Malfurion, and all of a sudden what looked like a huge advantage for the Zealots turns around against them. The core is being attacked. Meridian falls. The defense is still going strong. They're trying, but it's only 2 heroes that are available.
But the core is still at 60%. Li Ming is doing her best here to get these resets. Genji working those auto attacks, so is Linked as well. 5 seconds for Malfurion to be up, but it's not going to be in time. Leftovers able to get another victory against the Zealots, and they'll go up 2-1.
I actually think if they keep one more hero alive, they can defend this.
Yeah,
one more hero is all that they need. And I don't know, I come back to that second tribute a lot where we had the Dehaka burrow to the top lane. As we said before, either you burrow earlier so that you can actually contest the tribute, or you don't burrow at all and you get the value through the experience at the bot lane.
Sure.
But that didn't really work out for them. Then they just gave up too many objectives. There were too many tributes where they could have angled to at least delay them a bit. Even the first one. We see the first one spawning at the bot lane. Might have been the first one, third one, not 100% certain on it, but we have the camp pushing through the top. If they just contested a bit longer, that camp continues to get value, but they get zoned back the entire time, or they just drop all their cooldowns at the same time, don't stagger them, and that makes it easier for the leftovers to claim it. We talked about that before, though.